From the top rope to your collection, this collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I am your host, Moon 3PO, and this is my tag team partner, Bro PO, with the late night Sunday recording the week of Saturday night's main event. This will be our official preview pod with some announcements and just talking wrestling and talking cards, which is what we all love to do here on the pod. But Bro PO, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I've watched the Firefly Funhouse match like for the 10,000th time just a little while ago before he got on this pod. Oh, you got the shirt. There you go.
Very fitting. We not planned that.
Yeah, not a plug. But I mean, if you don't know now, you're probably gonna know now. Like me and you both, PC Bray Wyatt. So it's a good match. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Go check it out. You'll have some fun.
Never forget when showed Mrs. Moon 3PO that match for the first time. She thought we were watching some like weird, like play shit, and she's like, "What are we watching?" I'm like, "This is WrestleMania. This is COVID WrestleMania. This is what we had to deal with." Well, not down today. Deal with. It's one of my favorite Bray Wyatt matches. I think when go down the lore, maybe we'll do eventually a top 10, top 5 WrestleMania match. I definitely would put that one on there, just because of that.
Some drop kick D app.
Dropkick D 5
Yeah,
star.
that's one of my 5-star matches. So go check it out. If you haven't checked any of us out on Dropkick D, go check out Moon 3PO, Dad Collects. Like, come check out some of our 5-star matches. I know you messaged me last time. I actually was able to put all the wrestling events that we've ever been to on Dropkick D. So if you kind of look at it, you probably realize where we live. So, but.
Put 2 to 2 together where we live.
Yeah.
Don't stalk us, please. Don't dox us. Please don't.
Please don't. Leave me alone.
Don't come at me for our wrestling hot takes whenever we get that pod out. But yeah, that Fiend match is one of my favorite ones. I'll never forget when I put that match on. Top 10 WrestleMania matches for sure. At the Dropkick D, top 10 WrestleMania matches. I got to add it on there. But WrestleMania, it's come and go. We got to add it on there. But of course, we're about a month of. Has it been about a month? It's been about a month, right? I don't know. Wrestling just feels. We're 2 PLEs. Is Saturday Night's Main Event considered a PLE?
Does it feel Does it feel
I don't know.
A little bit.
Just a tad. I feel like we're on the high for a little bit. Like usually after WrestleMania, we're on the high for quite a bit, and then you kind of feel it a little bit. I feel like we hit that a little bit closer. I feel like Backlash didn't do justice, even though I thought it was a good card. I know we didn't do a post preview of it, but we just got busy with life stuff. But I feel like the Saturday Night's Main Event can maybe bring up some of that hype a little bit that we've been missing. I know some people were talking about the card a little bit of some hits and misses. I know, and obviously we'll talk about the main event. Obviously, I know some people on the internet were hating that match. But if you're hating that match, I'm going to save my take for that. We'll save it when we get there. But we're at Saturday Night's Main Event. It is this Saturday. We are recording this episode on May 18th. Hopefully this episode is out on Monday and or Tuesday, depending how fast I'm able to edit. But let's talk Saturday Night's Main Event. This is the third rendition of Saturday Night's Main Event, right? This is the third rendition of Saturday Night's Main Event.
Under Triple H, yeah.
Under the Paul Levesque Triple H era. And I think this one seems to be potentially like the best card that we have, or I should say the most fun card. I know you went to the one that was here in our hometown. The first one there was a pretty good one, but this card here, so we have a Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match. We have a Sami Zayn and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. That's going to be a fun tag team. We got Jey Uso and Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight title. And then for the main event, we got John Cena versus his hero, his GOAT, John Cena, which it's very, I don't want to say it's shocking to me, but still very funny to say that. And obviously we'll cover all our true stuff and John Cena stuff when we get to that match. But just on the offset, when we look at that card, I've already said I think it looks like a fun card. We're gonna enjoy it. Obviously, we already planned of getting together for that, so we're gonna have a good time watching that card. But just reading off those matches there, how do you feel about the card? You're excited, think could be a potential show stealer. How are you feeling about the Saturday Night Main Event card?
I like it. And I know a lot of the misconception about like Saturday Night's Main Events, like it's like a glorified like house show, and I think that's been like the big like story about like the past two. Obviously, I was at the last one, and if you go back and listen to my rant about the second one, which we were at, I was like, dude, I had a f bomb coming. I had a fucking fantastic time with that show. Like it was just a lot. It was fun, and I think this one has like the same like it has that same story built to it, and I'm excited for it. Like, there's a lot of good matches. I'm honestly excited for Drew versus Damian in a steel cage. Like those, I think those dudes are probably gonna tear it up inside of a steel cage. We saw what Drew did with CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell. Imagine what Drew is gonna do with Damian inside of a steel cage. Like that's gonna be fucking fire. I think the only one that probably has a lot of like that people are probably worried about is probably the Jay versus Logan Paul at a World Heavyweight Title match. Like, it's kind of like you can make your case about like how Logan got his world title shot, but it is what it is at this point. Like, like I really don't know
Yeah.
what to say about that. Jay's done like I'm a big Jey Uso fan, have been, will forever be a Jey Uso fan. Same thing about Logan Paul. You can have your gripes about Logan Paul personally, but from the wrestling side, you cannot deny what he does and continues to do in that ring. Like you just can't deny that stuff. Same thing for that big tag team match that we got going on. CM Punk, Sammy versus Seth and Braun. Like, I think that match has a lot more. Like, I feel like that one should main event. Just because I feel like there's a lot of twists and turns that you can do within that match.
You can honestly
You can,
and we'll talk about them when we get to that
Yeah,
match.
we'll probably get a little bit.
There's a lot that
Yeah.
you can dive into specifically with that match where maybe if it's not the last match, we're not going to get that swerve or that turn. I know there's been some rumblings online. Obviously, we'll talk about it here a little bit more in depth, and we'll go in order of the cards here. But yeah, that match there again, I think it's a very fun card. Again, Jey Uso, Logan Paul. Say what you want. I think it's going to be a fun match. The Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Don't think a lot of people are talking about it, but I think it can be a candidate for a match of the year. And then we have John Cena and R-Truth, and we'll talk about that there. But let's first start. Let's talk about Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, because I feel like when it got to before leading up to WrestleMania, and I'm evident of it. You guys can go back and listen to the lore of Collective the 1, 2, 3 when the whole Royal Rumble thing happened, when the Elimination Chamber thing happened. I was like I really don't care about it. Like, I like Drew McIntyre. We've
That was
expressed
honestly
that.
probably say everybody, honestly. If you
Yeah,
really think
I
about
was
it.
like, we're not big Damian Priest guys. I know the other Jim Bro here is not a big fan of Damian Priest, but to me, I feel like those two leading up have really surpassed expectations. Not from an in-ring talent, but those guys have taken what they've been thrown and have made it work to the point that we're talking about this match extensively and that we actually care about the match. I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah, I'm very excited for the match.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like, I don't know what it is about Damian Priest, but I just cannot like catch on to him, and I don't know what it is. Like, even when he was in the Judgment Day, like I was all Finn Balor, and still to this day, like I fucking love Finn Balor, and the way that I don't want to get into Finn Balor. That's a whole nother story. But like, even when he broke away from the Judgment Day, like he still has not like caught on to me, and I just for some reason I just cannot like catch on to him. I just can't. And so when he first started feuding with Drew McIntyre, I was like, fuck. I was like, God damn. I was like, Drew deserves more. And I'm not trying to disrespect like Damian Priest because I know he's been grinding and doing his thing, but I was like, fuck. I was like, Drew deserves better than this, considering like what he went through last WrestleMania, where he was at fighting Seth for the World Heavyweight Title. But if you think about long term story wise, if you want to go back to Triple H, like who's the one who cashed in on Drew McIntyre? It was fucking Damian Priest, and so the whole story was like, like Damian Priest has been causing all this trouble and blah blah blah, and you want to go through all that. But the matches they put on, those like they're just two fucking big guys that just fucking beat the shit out of each other. And so I do enjoy. Yeah, they fucking wrestle, and they do enjoy. I do enjoy their matches. So I'm excited to see this steel cage match. Honestly, like I'm really. I wouldn't be surprised if Damian Priest walks away with the dub because I think he probably needs it.
Yeah.
Considering that he's been taking the L's the past couple of times. But But yeah, I'm excited for this match. I think they're gonna kill it. I think Drew just everything Drew McIntyre touches, dude. It's just it's a banger.
Yeah, anything he's involved in, it's absolute gold. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to start fucking PC and Drew McIntyre honestly, dude.
Hey, I got a Drew McIntyre Prism SGC 10. I got it. Shoot me a DM after this. But yeah, no, I think you nailed it there. They've been this program that they've had since leading up to WrestleMania has definitely exceeded my expectations. I think Damian Priest does need the dub, so I think I have Damian Priest over Drew McIntyre. If you want to set up a rubber match at Money in the Bank, or even maybe that's even their Money in the Bank qualifying match. Seems like they're setting up triple threats for the Money in the Bank. That's what they're doing with the women. So it looks like that's what they're setting up. I'm
pretty sure it's to be the same thing
for the men. Obviously, they had the men too with Rey Fenix, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight. So, or not LA Knight. Who was the third one? I'm losing my mind.
What, the one that just happened on SmackDown?
You froze there. Who was the third one? It was Solo,
Rey Fenix, and LA Knight.
Right.
No, was it LA Knight? Was that LA Knight?
No, he fought JC Mateo.
Who the fuck was it? It was Jimmy, Big Jim.
Oh, Big Jim, yeah, Big Jim. Yeah, I was like,
dude, speaking of that fucking promo he cut to the ring was fucking fire, dude.
Dude, he's been.
God,
I was hoping he would have won, but man, like he's finally like. I don't want to say. I guess Jay has overshadowed him, obviously, but like when he was kind of by himself, kind of going into WrestleMania, like dude, the dude was cutting some good stuff. So
dude, the promo he cut to the ring on that one was fucking good.
Yeah, no, he's been doing some good stuff. Back to like the baby face stuff.
It's funny too because after we watch that promo and you hear the theme song coming on, my daughter goes, "Ooh, so."
Yeah, so no, I was a little bit upset that he didn't get the win. I know we'll talk about it a little bit later. We talked about Solo on a stream we were doing. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. I love you, Solo. So we'll talk
about that. I was surprised at all the Solo love, dude.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it later, but
yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit later. But yeah, to circle back to the Steel Cage jab, gonna be a great match. I got Damian Priest going into here. They can have their rubber match at on a Friday night SmackDown or another PLE, whatever they decide to do there, or throw them into a triple threat for the Money in the Bank qualifier match. And again, I'm just reading it off here. I see it here on WrestleOps. So the next match here they have listed is the Sami Zayn and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Like we kind of hinted here, there's a lot of twists and turns that you can definitely do with this match. Obviously, they've been Seth and Braun, even though they're a powerful team, a powerful little faction, they've been outnumbered because Jey Uso has been a little bit involved. So there's a lot of the twists and candies that you can do here. Is there a third member? Is there not a third member? Is it potentially Sami Zayn turning on CM Punk? They had their little interaction on Monday backstage where they don't maybe trust each other, or CM Punk said, I really can't. I don't really trust a lot of people right now. So they definitely have their little twists and turns. And obviously Sami Zayn, they're trying to boot him off to SmackDown so he can, not face the wrath of Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. So there's definitely a lot of twists and candies that you can do here. But again, a fun match. Going to be interesting to see how the partnership of Zayn and Punk plays into this match. But I do have Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker taking this one here. I think if you're trying to build this faction, obviously trying to build Seth back up to the main event and trying to build Braun up to be the future of this company, future World Heavyweight Champion, I think you need to have them win. Obviously, we've talked about it before on the pod. We're big Punk guys. We hate seeing them lose. But I feel like this is one where it won't really hurt them if they lose, unfortunately. But I do have some Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker taking it, maybe with some little twist. If it is Zayn, if it's another third member, whoever that is. I know some people throwing out they want Austin Theory in there. Not really being onto that, but yeah, there's a big chatter online for people want Austin Theory on here. I don't know. It ain't me, but hey,
get out of here. Get out of here.
But
get out.
What you got
go
here?
Go to the back and butt with Grayson Waller while you're out there.
What do you got here for the Sami Zayn and Punk and Rollins and Braun Breaker tag team?
Yeah, I think I'm really with you. I'm thinking with the Team Seth and Team Braun Breaker. But yeah, I think this is one of the matches that I was kind of like hinting at, that there's kind of one of these, like there's a big twist, and especially with the whole Sammy thing where like he has alignments everywhere. If you really look at it, like, and you can like really, if you want to go back into like the COVID era and like look at his conspiracy theory, like uh
His
gimmick, like
board. Yeah.
yeah, like there's a lot of like Sammy fits with everything, and I think the most beautiful thing about Sammy is his theme song never fucking changes. I love it so much, and it's funny because me and the wife were talking about it. She's like, "Dude, I love Sammy's theme song." I was like, "Yeah," and it's never fucking changed ever since he's been down to XC. It's always been the same song, like ever since then. But this is like one of the ones I don't know if Sammy would have aligned himself with Braun and Seth. I don't think it'd go to that point. I think it'd probably be like a clean victory, and I probably think Sammy would probably take the pin to kind of fuel like the I need to kind of get into it because I don't know, man. Like I think also
And
CM Punk is also
and
one of those guys. CM Punk's one of those guys where he could take the pin and doesn't lose like steam. There's always a lot of
and
chatter when. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Go.
I
Go.
will
Go. Go
say,
ahead.
and you even can even have another playback of Karrion Cross. Obviously, Karrion Cross has interacted with Sami Zayn, where he's kind of hinted like, "Hey, you need to do something like this, being goody goody, or not looking out for yourself, or trying to put your feet in different places, pleasing other people." There you go. You see it behind me as well. Maybe that plays into play. I know we got this into. I don't know where it's at, but you can even draw back into that as well. So I think
This
even
this
that's an
this was
interesting standpoint.
this was gonna be my final thought. But did you see the main event on Peacock this past
Yeah,
weekend on Saturday?
yeah,
That shit was fucking wild. The reaction he got, yeah,
dude,
that's
so
pretty.
over, so over.
Yeah. We'll save that for later. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for this match. This match has. I'm so intrigued by the whole Seth Braun tag team, especially with Paul behind them. Like it's. I'm excited to see where it's going. It feels fresh. I don't know if
Yeah,
you feel the same way to me. Like we've obviously seen Paul with all the guys, but to see him aligned with Seth. I don't know if obviously you probably played. Did you play 2K? Did you play the Bloodline storyline?
yeah,
So you saw like how Paul was like when it got to like the Seth Royal Rumble match, like he was like so disgusted with like the whole Seth Rollins. Like to see to play that and then to go into now and to see like the whole Seth thing play out, and I'm like, dude, it feels refreshing. At a
yeah. It
time where like
is.
sometimes WWE feels kind of it can feel stale at times. Like this feels a little bit refreshing, and we're like probably what 3 weeks into it. Like I'm so
Yeah, about
intrigued
3
by
weeks.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with Braun too. Braun Breaker's a fucking beast, dude.
Woo, woo,
Like,
woo, woo.
god damn.
He needs to work on the 10 a little bit, but hey, that's a different story.
Yeah, you too, Paul. You gotta-
They've been hanging out too much.
I was
never-
I was expecting Seth Rollins to be just as tense as all of them. Next thing you know, Becky's gonna be burnt like them.
burnt orange. But yeah, no, I agree 100%. It feels fresh. It's exciting. Obviously there's an intrigue of like, is there a third member? Is there a third guy? Or women. Maybe if you want to get crazy, you can throw women in there if you want to. So it definitely is intriguing. I'm liking it a lot. I don't know necessarily like who the third member would be. I know, again, we kind of hinted it there. I know some people throw Austin Theory because obviously Seth had their little bit of a drawback.
Honestly, how do you fit Austin Theory into this? Like, come on,
I don't know.
like, for real.
Yeah,
Like,
that's where I'm like, I don't see
it
how
doesn't
that
work.
fits. Maybe there's an NXT call up. Maybe there's another superstar in there. I don't know where you put that in there. I don't think you put Sammy in there. I don't think he fits necessarily within that group. I mean, he definitely does. Again, we kind of just talked about how he has so much history with all those guys. I don't think it necessarily would mesh. I wouldn't like it personally. But again, I could definitely see a turn where he's like maybe turns on Punk, kind of the frustration just leading to it, where the dude's been through so much the last like year and a half,
I
so
see.
half
I
a year.
see. I see more of a turn than it is aligning with Seth and Braun. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna turn on Punk, go on my own instead of I'm gonna align myself with Rollins and Breaker. Like, I see more of that than joining the team. Because if you really think about it, like, who would you see that makes sense that joins that team?
That's the thing. I really don't see like anybody else. Like really,
You don't think it either. I
like
honestly
I
can't.
can't
I'm
think
trying to
of.
think of, and you can't.
I mean, maybe there's somebody I'm missing, but I really
If you do,
can't think.
let us know in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah.
And if you're right in the comments before Saturday's main event, we'll send you a prize. Maybe we'll send you some.
We'll send you a
giveaway.
card, whoever it is.
Yeah.
if we have it in the stock, we'll send you a
if it's in the
card
tour.
wherever it is. If it's in the inventory, we'll let you know. Nothing numbered, nothing crazy, nothing auto, no one of ones. But if it's a base card, hey, we'll send it to you.
And if it's not, well, maybe we'll give you a shout out on the next stream, like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
next pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a fun match. Again, another potential soul stealer. They don't even need to have the greatest wrestling match ever to make it a good match. It's all storytelling at this point with all those talent involved. But next match here for the World Heavyweight Championship, we got Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Now I didn't say I caught a lot of heat on it, but I remember there's another wrestling TikToker where he announced this and I commented like, I think it makes sense for him to be his first title defense. Like if you really look at the Raw roster before Gunther or after Gunther, like there really isn't an established heel on the roster that you can throw Jay at right now. Like yes, just Seth Rollins, but obviously he's involved with everything going on right now. You're not going to throw him to Rusev if they're treating him as a heel. I mean, he's getting cheered, but they're treating him as a bad guy. I don't think he's a heel in my opinion. So there really isn't like an established heel to throw at Jey Uso right now. And like we kind of hinted in the beginning of the intro, like him or hate him, he draws natural heat, obviously for whatever reason, if it's personal or just wrestling in general. Like the dude just generates natural heat. And I was telling my wife the other day about Logan Paul, where it's very rare in this business where you're treated as a heel and you get booed. It's very, very rare, very rare. So the fact that he's able to be his natural self, which that he could be a dickhead in real world and be a dickhead on TV, but it's not very well case to be. But yeah, I think it's a fine opponent for him, for Jay. And it's obviously they tease the Gunther rematch or teasing Gunther feeding back to Jey Uso. So
which I'm a little scared about because it's after Money in the Bank.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a fine match. I think obviously good talent involved. I'm excited for it. I think this one again. I don't want to say. I guess you could say it's predictable. But I think we're both going to be in agreement here that Jey Uso will be the victor out of this match. I don't think it's time for Logan Paul to win a championship, nor maybe he doesn't even win a world championship. Time will tell. But yeah, I think this one here is very simple with Jey Uso coming out as victor at a Saturday Night's Main Event for his first ever title defense.
Actually, it was second. He defended against Seth.
Oh yeah, second. He did. Yes, I forgot. Yes, second.
But I actually think this match is probably what's wrong with the whole Saturday Night's Main Event concept is that people don't expect like title changes, and so like you see Jay versus Logan Paul is kind of like, all right, like we know Jay's not gonna fucking lose to Logan Paul at Saturday Night's Main Event, so it's like why even tune in? And I think that's the problem with Saturday Night's Main Event. It's like people don't expect title changes, yet you build like major title defenses. Like why not showcase like the mid card titles, like the United States titles, the Intercontinental, even the women's, like the women's Intercontinental, the women's United States title, stuff like that. So I think this is easily like a easy dub for Jey Uso. I mean, I hope I'm not wrong, but yeah, I don't see a major title change for this. And like I said, I think that's probably, and I think this has probably been the whole misconception or the whole or the whole ramble about Saturday Night's Main Event is like there's no major title changes. And I think it's probably going to stand true right here. I think that's the problem with this. I don't think there should be major title matches on Saturday Night's Main Event. If you go, I don't know. That's just me. That's my rant.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think when the first rendition of Saturday Night's Main Event, didn't Triple H or like somebody come out from like higher up said like, oh, like there can be potential title changes or like there's gonna be major title changes. I don't quote me on that. I feel like that was the trend
from the whole like the past
show as a whole. Yeah, because I remember when Cody and KO had their first match at.
I mean, they build it as like a PLE, but it's not. It's not a PLE. It's like it's a special. I think it's considered a TV special. And so, because I think it airs on NBC, if I'm not mistaken. If you don't have Peacock, I think it airs on NBC.
I think so, yeah. That's what they did back then, right? Like it aired
on
NBC.
Yeah, and so it's considered like a TV special. So it's not a PLE. So back in the day, I think a TV special was like on a regular broadcast. So I think it was supposed to bring you like high level matches on regular TV and compared to like a PLE, which back in the day was pay per view. And so I think that was the whole concept of it. And so that's the way I think about it now. Like, I don't think you're gonna do like a major title change. I mean, I've never gone and watched like every Saturday Night's Main Event from back in the day, but I mean, the way they treat it now, they treat it like it's a big deal. Like they bring
Yeah,
Lillian Garcia. I don't know if you know, like Lillian Garcia
she's doing
only announces PLEs or Saturday Night's Main Events. They bring back Jesse the Body Ventura to do Saturday
Has
Night's
he
Main
been
Events.
announced for this one?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he only does Saturday Night's Main Events. If I'm not mistaken,
Oh, okay.
because he was at the one that we were at, which I was fucking very excited about. So,
Yeah, it was cool to listen to that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't go to the
Yeah.
event, so I was
Yeah.
watching it. I was out of town I was in Dallas being a cheer husband that week. So I was watching on my iPad.
If I'm not mistaken, he does like they have like a little separate like table, like an announcer's table. Like the way they do the pre-shows, they call it the
Mhm.
Okerlund table as the tribute to the Mean Gene Okerlund.
Mean Gene.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. So they do it for him. And I think he does like he does a broadcast for like a couple of matches or one matches, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. I usually, I mean, I know he's been the first two, but I thought usually they advertise him more. But I haven't seen him being advertised. I was like, oh, so you gonna be at this one? Because it'll be cool to hear Jesse the Body Ventura once again. Because I obviously going back and watching the lore of wrestling, all the old school wrestling that you can find on Peacock, is one of the few voices that I actually enjoy listening to when it comes to calling wrestling matches. But the last match here that we have, which I would think maybe it's going to main event at the time of this, maybe time will tell. We got John Cena versus R-Truth, which is kind of crazy that I'm saying this right now. But before we get into it, before we call anything, I think obviously we know who's going to win the match. It's no shocker who would win this match. But how are we feeling about this match? I know obviously there was a lot of chatter online of like, why are we wasting a date for John Cena on R-Truth? Like, why are we doing this? Things of that nature. Again, me personally, I feel like if you're hating on this, like you just do not enjoy anything in life. I think this is a very fun match. I think it's going to be very fun to watch. Obviously there's going to be the spot with R-Truth stealing John Cena's move, because those are his moves. So there's obviously going to be that spot. Obviously R-Truth had I don't want to say it was funny promo, but obviously had the promo with Wade Barrett on Friday Night SmackDown when they were backstage. But from an overall standpoint, how do we feel about this match?
I mean, this is, if you are like wondering like what the hell are they fighting for, like go on YouTube and search R-Truth and John Cena. Like WWE put out like a whole like playlist of them, and I think it's probably like about 45 minutes, an hour long. Like it'll detail like their whole storyline. So if it's perfect, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, John Cena has like planned out like all his like final opponents of who he wants to face on his way out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has to face R-Truth on his way out. Like the fact that he does it like at a Saturday Night's Main Event, the fact that where R-Truth is at kind of in his career, it just makes sense. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not for the WWE title, right?
I don't think so. I haven't seen
I don't
it
think
for
it is.
The promo that I was reading. It hasn't been promoted for the undisputed title.
Yeah, let me search it real quick. R-Truth. Yeah, so we have a history of John Cena R-Truth WWE playlist. It is 31 minutes long. Like, go watch it, and you'll know why they're fighting each other. But obviously, we know who's probably going to win. It's obviously going to be a John Cena match, and it was funny too because we usually watch the press conferences after the PLEs, and we missed this one after Backlash, and we missed John Cena doing the AA on R-Truth on the table. So that's the way it works.
Yeah, the one time there actually something dramatic happens in those pressers or scrums, as people like to call them, freaking R-Truth gets put through a table with the AA.
I'm old. I'm tired. I work with children.
The one I wish we would have seen. I wish I was watching that one live too. Missed that one, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I ironically enough, I actually did watch that one today. And yeah, it's a fun little video. Go watch it if you haven't. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun little match here. It's curious to see where the John Cena character heel turn goes from here, because I know we kind of talked about it on the side. Obviously, again, we didn't have our
Still
post
not clicking with
Backlash,
me, bro.
but it looked like towards the end of the Randy Orton match, like he was kind of regretting or like kind of like questioning things that he's been like doing and things that he's done, and then 15 minutes later he puts R-Truth through a table. So obviously it didn't change anything. So I don't know. I can see it being out something where he beats R-Truth, and then maybe towards the end he's gonna go for like a bigger beatdown, and maybe we see Cody returning, get Cody back into the picture. Obviously Cody's been gone since he got defeated at night 2 of WrestleMania, so I think this will be a good time to get him back into the mix of things. I know he's already been advertised or being rumored to start coming back. Obviously Money in the Bank is slowly coming up here, so maybe that's where they have their first match. Obviously, me being selfish, I would love to have seen a Punk and Cena match at Money in the Bank, but I think I just read a report or saw something like they're not planned for that as far as of right now. And then, ironically, as we talked about John Cena picking his opponents, he was at some like Comic-Con today or like Collecticon. I don't know where he was at today, but he listed The Rock and CM Punk as like his 2 greatest feuds. So obviously, I think he has like obviously there's that special place for CM Punk. And I think maybe that's his last match. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's his second to last. I think maybe the last match is going to be saved for Cody. I don't know. Who knows? We'll get there when we get there. I think his last match too. I think his last match is at a Saturday Night's Main Event, if I'm not mistaken, in Massachusetts.
But it says it's in Boston. It's in his hometown. I don't think they've announced what it is. But yeah, I know. I just know it's in his hometown, which is in Westbury, Massachusetts.
Westbury, Massachusetts.
I think technically they call it Boston. So
yeah.
So, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we'll cover that when we get there. But yeah, again, I think it's gonna be a fun card. Go watch Saturday Night's Main Event. It's a fun time. Go watch it on Peacock. Again, the card, 4 matches: Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and a steel cage match. Logan Paul versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk and Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, and CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins in the tag team match. And then, of course, R-Truth and John Cena for what's being advertised right now it's not for the undisputed title. So I think it's going to be a fun card. And potentially we'll have a post reaction to that card if something dramatic happens, or if life doesn't get involved, crazy events will get involved here. Get a post reaction, maybe even get Jim Bro back into the freaking dude's been absent for like 2 months now. Don't know where that dude's at. Dude's just gone. Written off.
He's lost.
The writers wrote him off and don't have anything planned for him. So he's sitting in catering right now. So
yeah, he's sitting in catering.
If you seen him in person, you know he's stuck in catering. But before we go off here into kind of like our final thoughts, announcements, things like that, any final thoughts here on just the overall card or Saturday Night's Main Event in general?
No, it looks like a really good card. I think all the matches have potentials to be really like bangers, I guess, if you want to really talk about it. I'm excited for it. I don't know. I know we've obviously talked about having a little. Obviously, we always get together for these kind of nights, but I think this is probably going to be a really good one. Yeah, other than that, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where all these stories goes. If you really think about it.
Yeah, there's a story within each one, so it's going to be very exciting, and obviously, yeah, we'll be together for that one as well. So yeah, it'll be fun to do that in person and watch it in person again. But heading off into some final thoughts here, probably could be an extensive final thought here, or just some announcements, I guess, on the personal side. So if you guys have been following me on social media, you guys follow me at Moon3PO. You guys follow me wherever, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. You guys would know that obviously we sell wrestling cards here on the side. That's what we like to do. We sell other things on the side as well. But the last month or so, things were just not moving for me on eBay when it comes to both wrestling and baseball cards for whatever reason. Things have just not have been moving. I mean, some things would sell here and there, but it just was not moving for me. So I was like, and even on Collects or other platforms, tried to even selling on Discords, and like, I don't know, the selling in Discords is really weird for me. So I was like, okay, what's next? What can we try to do here? Obviously, we have the platforms here. I talk for a living almost basically now with all the content. So like, hey, you know what? Everybody does it. Let's give it a shot. Let's try doing WhatNot. So say what you want about the platform. There's no denying the how big the platform is right now and how it's been for the last year or 2 years when it comes to the wrestling card hobby. So obviously the recording and the show has already happened. But today I hosted my first show over on WhatNot, which shameless plug. If you guys want to join, link in the bio and link in the description for all where you get your podcast. If you join with that specific link, you will get $15 off your first purchase. Doesn't even have to be with me. It could be somewhere else. If you want to go spend it on another streamer, another somebody else who's streaming something else, you can go spend that $15 somewhere else. Again, does not have to be with me, but it can be anywhere else, and it helps support me, helps support my content, and helps me motivate me to keep bringing this here. But yeah, the idea that I have with the WhatNot is like, obviously, if you guys go through the eBay pages, you guys go through what I buy. Like, I buy low end stuff. Like, I'm not buying crazy expensive cards just because, one, I can't afford it, or two, I sell the cards that I get and I buy the higher price stuff. Like, that's why I do this. So it funded the John Cena rookie card. It funded the CM Punk. It funded those two Cena celebrating Cena SSPs. It funded that Cody Rhodes rookie card. So like, my idea is that, I can sell low end stuff, get you guys some low tier cards. I mean, we had cards today starting from anywhere from $1 to $3, bundles of cards. We did giveaways, and it was a lot of fun. Like, it surpassed my expectations. I made a TikTok about it where I was like, I had a little bit of anxiety going to the show. I even thought about canceling the show when, like, a little after I worked out, and I was like, man, I think I'm gonna cancel. Like, I didn't have the proper inventory. I mean, I did have the proper inventory, but just worried it wasn't enough. But I know you hopped in there and you were in there supporting. You're in the chat. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it really surpassed my expectations. So hopefully, every week or so we will be having a WhatNot show. So if you guys want to come in, help support me, support my content in any other form of way. If there's a certain superstar that you're looking for, I know I had some people in the chat looking for specific superstars. I know a couple of wrestling vendors that I'm already reaching out to. We go to a lot of card shows where there's like one or two wrestling vendors out there, where I feel like I can, get a lot of good value for you guys. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I know you were in there from a third person perspective. I know from a first person, for me, it was very nerve wracking. It went well for me. Not even from the financial side. From the financial side, I didn't even care about that. It was more of just like getting in there, moving cards, talking to you guys, talking shop, talking wrestling. But from a third person view, what'd you think about the show?
Yeah, I think even after it ended, I texted you. I was like, dude, this went like really, really well for you. Like, I've joined other like WhatNot streams before, and like some people like don't even have like all their shit listed, or like it's not detailed. Like, you go in and it just says like card number 1. Like, you actually have like what people are bidding on, or not even that. Like, you can see like what you can bid on and stuff like that. So I had to give you your flowers on that. Just like that. Like, even that, like the vibes were probably just like, they were like really, really good. Like, we're just talking about wrestling. Like, people were talking about solo, which there was a lot of solo supporters in the chat, which I was really,
a lot of solo supporters.
I was really, really surprised about that. So we're up for that. I'm gonna get I love you solo. So there was a lot of solo supporters. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. I had a blast. I was in there pretty much the whole. I think it almost ran in like 2 hours. So I was in there the whole time. But yeah, so it was a really good time. So I'm proud of you, dude. You did really, really good on that.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Yeah, again, it was very nerve wracking. Again, my wife was in the living room as I was getting ready. I was like, all right, I'm prepared for the worst. Like, to me, like, my worst idea was like, all right, there's 3 people in there. I'm just chatting about myself. Nothing's being pre-bidded. Which there was some that cases where I did put up cards there and it didn't get any bids, which was no shame. Which is fine. It saves me off that inventory for other cards, because the ones that didn't get bid on were the ones I thought would have bought purchase. But hey, it is what it is. But I think that's what the thing about the wrestling card hobby is that there's people who gravitate to a certain wrestler, and it doesn't have to be the big name wrestler. Obviously, a lot of the names that I got thrown were Bray Wyatt, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, those players, but those superstars, I almost said players, those superstars. But obviously, there's lower tier wrestlers where people just collect. And I think that's what I really loved about being in the wrestling card hobby for the last year and a half or so now, is like, you don't have to collect the big name, like, to have fun and to collect whatever. Like, if you gravitate towards a Karrion Kross, if you gravitate towards a Chad Gable, Otis. I know I had some people asking for Otis.
Yeah, somebody asked like about Otis,
Tozawa,
and Maxine,
and Maxine.
Like,
I mean, Alpha Academy. Like, that's what you're into. Like, that's what you're into, and like, you're gonna get no shame for that. Like, there's no.
And somebody even asked about Carmen Petrovich. I was like, dude, that's a name like you don't hear like from a random person. Like, that's
some people, obviously quite a bit of people threw out Sol Ruka, which obviously now she's the champion down in NXT. So obviously people are, getting more attention for Sol Ruka. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I think it motivates me more to, bring more content to you guys. It branches me out. Obviously I do everything here, but everything's pre-recorded. So like I can go and edit, do different things to make it sound good, make me look good. But when you're on Whatnot, it's a live stream. It's live. It's like wrestling. It's live. You can't change it. So whatever's going on is going on. But yeah, no, the chat was live. I was happy about that. We did giveaways, so I am planning on doing more giveaways. It's free. I know some people. Had. I think somebody left me a
I know
comment.
that was a wild comment about somebody want a giveaway, but the person was asking them to pay for it. I'm like, what the fuck? That's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, it's free. So any giveaway that you're entering that's part of Moon 3PO is completely free. No purchase necessary. You just got to make sure you are following the page, which doesn't hurt to follow me. So yeah, again, I'm planning my next show hopefully for Sunday, maybe Monday, Memorial Day stream. Obviously, I live in the corporate world, so I am off on Monday. I think Sunday I may be a little bit busy with something, so time will tell on that. Maybe we do a Friday night SmackDown. Time will tell. It depends how much inventory I'm able to get in quickly. But yeah, it was very fun. Again, it gives me another avenue to talk to you guys, interact with you guys. It was, again, I'm going to reiterate again, it was a lot of fun. So if you're listening to the pod, I know I plugged in the pod a couple of times, plugged in the socials a couple of times. So if you're coming over from the Whatnot stream to the pod, I appreciate you guys from coming in, or vice versa. If you've been on the pod and going to the Whatnot streams, I definitely do appreciate you. Again, link down below. Join in with the link. You get $15 off your first purchase, and then it helps support me. Again, you don't even have to spend that $15 on me. Go spend it somewhere else. If you find a card that you want to buy, you can go and do that. But yeah, that's going to be another avenue of our content, collecting the 1, 2, 3, the wrestling card content. Have that out there for you guys. So if you guys want to come in live, talk wrestling, talk cards, we could definitely do that. Obviously, Saturday night's main event will already been done already at the time we do the show. So you guys can definitely hop in and we'll talk some shop, talk some wrestling. And I think, again, it's going to be very fun to just have you guys in there, and gives us another branch of talking cards, talking wrestling. It's a wrestling card hobby, man. It's wrestling, it's cards. Let's have some fun with it. You don't have to have tied down to dollar signs to have some fun. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So we're definitely going to be bringing it here more to the page here. But yeah, that's all I had. I was like my long final thought here on my end. So before we wrap everything up here for the good old listeners of collecting the 1, 2, 3, Bro Pio, what do you got for the listeners of collecting the 1, 2, 3?
I don't really got too much. Again, I watched for like the 10,000th time the Firefly Flinthouse match, which is fucking a 5-star match in my in my head. But other than that, if you're a basketball fan, I hope you love long-term storytelling, because we got the Pacers versus the New York Knicks, which we saw. What PLE was that they were? Or was it a SmackDown that they were?
SmackDown. It was SmackDown.
Yeah. So I hope you love a long-term storytelling, because if that doesn't tell you what Triple H has in mind, there you go. And that's all I got for you there.
Who is it? It's Jalen Brunson, right?
And Ty Halliburton. What the fuck's his name? Let me see. Yeah, Ty Halliburton. Yeah, that's his name, from the Pacers, and Jalen Brunson from the Knicks. So that's some good storytelling right there.
Dude, oh my god. ESPN even put it like in the WrestleMania font.
It's a big.
Like, that's 17? I don't know. Is that 17? It looks like 17.
Let me see. It looks like 17. Oh yeah, because they're doing with the My Way song. It's my way.
Oh
my
yeah.
Way on the house. Yeah, that's 17.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I didn't.
That's how over and popular wrestling is right now.
Yeah,
that doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Stone Cold Rock. That's
awesome.
That's all I got.
That's hilarious. But yeah, that's all we got for collecting the 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are listening to Apple or Spotify. Make sure you are following and leave a rating on the pod if you enjoyed it. And if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Again, you can follow me everywhere at Moon3PO. All the socials will be linked down below. Along with BroPio, you can follow him at Daddy Collects everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter, where you want to call it. He's available at Daddy Collects, so feel free to follow us, both of us on there. And yeah, let's talk some cards, talk whatever. We're always open to chatting. We love doing this stuff. So yeah, guys, again, thank you guys for tuning in, supporting the content, and we will see y'all in the next one.